never thank you enough, really, truly. So anyway, I just wanted to say a quick hello. I'm glad I could join you all, and miss you all bunches. Mwah!
Oh, Liz, thank you. And I have to tell you, I followed protocol. She is on FMLA. I did not reach out to her to attend. She texted me and said she'd love to pop in. So that's when I said, please say hello. I know everyone would love to see your face and hear your voice. So she is here on her own accord, voluntarily. Liz, it's so good to see you. And look at all these fun messages. So we'll try and capture.
Oh, I have to open the chat. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we miss you dearly.
Oh, I miss you guys. Mwah.
All right, so let's get going here. We are going to start with our instructional model focus group. And the group selected Meredith Jessen to share glows and then some grows.
Good morning. So for 2 Mondays, my group was focusing on our instructional model. Some of our glows that we have are that the classroom teachers receive support from co-teachers to cover for meetings and can step in during some absences. More content experts are in the classroom because of that extra support. Students have multiple adult relationships throughout the building, not just within their classroom. We have the ability to flexible group more easily and often because of the amount of support we have. And we are a collaborative school across all departments. Next slide, please. However, we did talk about some grows for our school. One is that representation from all departments and creation of the master schedule, so not just administration. We need to define our roles and responsibilities of each position. Janine, I lost the slide. From a shared understanding. We also were talking about having a school-wide intervention time to meet the needs of all students, no matter academic ability level. We talked about how our teaching styles and classroom management can differ. Our ESOL and SPED students should be serviced with more fidelity, and co-teachers being pulled to cover for absences, which then affects all small group plans of either being canceled or readjusting our entire schedule.
All right, thank you, Meredith. And again, let me just pop in here and say, these are just your words. This is not saying that we're committed to every grow action here. This is just, again, what you all said, and we're just reporting out. Okay, so this is just some brainstorming and some problem solving, and we'll move forward and do more work with these groups to guide any, any changes or adjustments that we might make. All right, Alexandra, you have something to say?
I just wanted to address that ESOL and SPED students could be serviced with more fidelity. To clarify that doesn't mean that we're not pulling our kids regularly. What it's referring to is that we have a lot of ESOL students in the SPED classrooms, and we don't always have time to service them. And that's what that comment is referencing. So I didn't want anybody to feel like they were being attacked.
Yeah, thank you.
Or
Thank you.
I should say.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, and she brought up a good point. And by no means looking at the state of our school, this is not blaming, finger pointing. This is just putting the cards on the table. This is where we are and how are we going to move forward. So thanks for chiming in there, Alex. All right, and then we're moving on to CT structure. Leslie Balta will share for the group.
Hello, can you hear me? Can
Yes.
you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so our ST structure and content focus group, our glows are data digs are more personalized to each class and student, creating common assessments is a plus, embedding community builders into each agenda, and sharing resources during our CTs, and ensuring that we are on pace with our grade level are all glows. And now our grows are optional CT time for those who need to dive into pacing guide. All members feeling comfortable to share ideas and or disagreement. Purposeful team building, especially with newer teams. Follow back around to revisit instructional plan rather than talking about what is coming next in order to grow our practice. Leaving CTs with a plan or lesson plan, and creating common assessments prior to the unit. These are things that we can improve on.
All right, thank you, Leslie.
Welcome.
Thank you. All right, moving right along, school culture and community. Let's see, Molly Cronin is sharing for the group.
I'm sorry, Ms. Bishop, did you still have a question? Okay.
All right, good morning, everyone. Here are our glows for the school community and culture focus group. Our students and families seem happy to be at Glen Forest. We have an inclusive and caring environment. For many, it feels like a second home. Our staff and families are diverse in culture, and I think this year especially, we've been trying to highlight that diversity. We are an organization with hardworking and creative individuals, and many love the joke of the day with Mr. Himes.
It's all in the delivery.
And here are some of the grows, some room for improvement. We brainstormed a problem-solving protocol for staff. We aim to keep things confidential to eliminate rumors. We want to strengthen communication for consistency, having like one voice for Glen Forest. We'd love to have a PD focus on team building to build collective mindset and a sense of community. We want to revitalize and reestablish the social/sunshine committee. We want to try to increase social opportunities outside of school for staff. We aim to be more welcoming to new staff and families with anticipating possible struggles and thinking about how we can better support them. We want to try to increase parent engagement. We want to make sure we're respecting time for teachers to meet basic needs like running to the bathroom, water in between those like class time changes, and potentially having a PD for different communication styles.
All right, thank you, Molly. And we are moving on to our technology focus group, and Rita is going to share for the group.
Hi, everyone. This is Rita. Today, I am going to talk about the Glows for Technology focus group. Some of the things that the feedback we got from you, we have put them under glows and growth. So today we're going to talk about student engagement when technology is incorporated. So when we have like a classroom that is using technology, the students are more engaged. With technology is allow for student choice to demonstrate knowledge. With technology, the software program that offers student data to drive instruction like STMath. I know a lot of you are using that because we have a competition going on with it. So with technology focus group, these are your feedback that we use for glows. Now we're going to go for growth. Update the technology section in our website to align with current programs. This is where we're going to grow with this, where technology website, it's some of the website does not align with our current program. So that is something we'll work on. Also integrated typing skill, time into the daily, weekly schedule. This is something you can do when you are doing your guided reading groups, your language arts block. You can do a typing skills there. So it can be part of your any rotation you have. Maybe you can put it in whenever you have that spare time when the kids have their independent work. Just 10 minutes and it will help. We'll consider a tech time in the master schedule, so that's soon to become. Thank you so much. And
Thank
also
you.
I have a bonus question. The bonus question is, what does ST mean in ST map? So Satish is going to go ahead and pose that question, and we're going to see who first answer that. But thank you. So what does ST mean in ST map? Now some of you probably Googling the answer right now. That's okay too.
Yeah, when we were doing this focus group, I finally said, I was like, what does ST stand for? And I need to see it in print to stick to really be, there we go, Molly. Okay.
Yep.
Spatial temporal. There we go. Google.
Yeah, we got a winner. Thank you, Molly.
Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Thank you, Rita. Moving right along, we are going to highlight our SEL supports, glows and grows, and that will be done by Sarah Jacoby.
Okay, hello everyone. One second, let me move that. Okay, so we talked a little bit this week, and some glows we said were the school-wide visuals and videos and school-wide expectations that people were really focusing on in the beginning of the year and having check-ins kind of throughout the year as well. Staff and students can verbalize and model behavior using interactive modeling and really reinforce those expectations. And then establishing a school-wide behavior wellness team. We meet once a month this year, and that kind of just provides some more representation. And some grows. We wanted some more, and I think a lot of people want some more consistency with Calm Down Corner and how it relates or maybe doesn't relate to consequences for unexpected behavior. And people were talking about including SEL supports and some instruction in the morning news show, maybe tying like a trait from Positivity Project during that time. Consistent calm down strategies and some more consistent consequences throughout grade levels, classrooms, things like that. Consistent documentation for behavior incidents, that's definitely being worked on like countywide, and then update and clarification for the referral process and with MTSS as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
Because we do put the character Positivity Project on the morning news show, the character focus for the week. So what more would you be looking for with that? Would it not be the Positivity Project? Would it be like breathing mechanisms? Like I know at my old school, we would do like a 5-5-5 or a 4-4-4 or something like that, breathing mechanism to calm students down. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so I think too, we're talking about if we potentially choose something school-wide next year, like maybe zones of regulation, or if we start to make that consistent, then those strategies, yes. So we would share and highlight those particular strategies on the morning news show just to be consistent and for all our students, yes.
And it might be for a longer period of time. So say you're thinking about perseverance and not just for a week long. You can hear the construction in my neighborhood, but like for a longer period of time, and then maybe bringing in some zones as well.
All right, thank you, Sarah. Thanks for the question, Janine. All right, we're moving on to our last group, vision and mission. And Arthur is going to share out for the group.
Good morning. Some of the glows established were really focusing in on creating lifelong learners. I think that's something that everyone really loves seeing. The fact that diversity, creativity, and higher level thinking is recognized in the actual statements is good as well. And then including nurturing and safe environments is also something that's really good to see in the mission, the vision. As for grows, There was a lot of feedback on possibly rewording the mission and the vision so that's more family friendly, to simplify it by adding visuals. Having already translated mission and vision statements, not just going to the web to translate. Making the mission and vision visible around the school is also something that was pushed a lot, by including it through the morning news show, parent newsletters, and then how do we connect it to our students and get their buy-in was something that was also discussed.
And thank you, Arthur. And again, I really appreciate everyone's time. Those of you who volunteered to, really look at the posters, try and examine any trends, and to identify the glows and grows that were shared by you all. So thank you so much. And again, this isn't the end of the work. This is really just the initial stage. And again, any glow on here, we want to keep that going. Any grow, that does not necessarily mean we're going to make a change tomorrow. So this actually helps my thinking. So again, I really appreciate everyone who took the time to talk. And I'm thankful that you felt that I really wanted to listen. So thank you. And before we move on, I have to tell you, I meant to change my name. It's kind of embarrassing that my slide says Principal Herndon Wilson. That was for a parent connection meeting. So anyway, I just noticed that, and didn't mean that. So anyway. All right, so to wrap up here, I'm going to talk a little bit about my core beliefs, as the principal of the building and my vision for Glen Forest. And I will tell you, if you haven't noticed, over the past year that I've been here, I've been very observant. I've been questioning people. I've been listening. It's quite a complex school, and it's taken quite a while to really put all the pieces together. And so now that I've really learned, what makes up Glen Forest, there's much more to learn. But I kind of put my core beliefs and my vision here on paper in a moment that you'll see that relates to Glen Forest. So I know some of you have told me, and I appreciate that, Dee Dee, we need to know what you feel. What's your vision? And, I know what my core beliefs are, but I really wanted to make sure that it relates to Glen Forest. Because every school is different, every faculty is different, and I respect that and appreciate that coming into an established school. So thank you for being patient with me while I was learning about you, our students, and our families. Okay, I really appreciate your patience. All right, so next slide, Janine. So some of my core beliefs, if you haven't already figured it out, relationships is the most important to me. I think it's at the core of all the work that we do. And I'm talking about relationships from student to student, between teacher to teacher, and teacher to student. This helps us understand the connections we have with one another. It helps us learn about each other's stories. We are a people business, and we're humans. So relationships is very important to me, and I want that to be a focus as we move on and make Glen Forest an even better school. Many of you, if you read the newsletter, you've heard me reference a pearl necklace. I just kind of think of my leadership style in this way, that I view everyone just as important as the next. No one here at Glen Forest is more important than the other. We're all critical to our school's success. And I want us to respect one another for the roles that we do have. Each one of us is just as important as the next. Administration might be the little clasp at the top that holds it all together. But if one pearl kind of breaks off that necklace, it falls apart. So that's just kind of a visual that is in my mind for the view I have for our staff as a whole. Each one of you is critical. You probably have learned that the way I like to approach problems and think that we should is a problem solving solution mindset. There are going to be problems and obstacles in every organization, no matter where you go. But it's how we respond to those problems. And what I want us to do is take all that energy, and instead of getting bogged down or repeating the problem and just talking about what the problem is, instead using that energy to solve the problem and think of ways that we can make it better. And definitely not pulling other people in who really don't have a desire or a reason to even solve the issue. So, you know, when we start problem solving, we're talking with the players that can help solve that problem and not just going off to someone not related and speaking about the problem. So problem solving mindset, being open-minded, I think is very important. I hate to see our energy being wasted on just talking about what the problem is. I believe, you know, I have high standards for everyone. You have high standards for every student in your class, and I have high standards for all of you. I want you all to succeed and be the best that you can be, and you are all capable. So I expect your very best when you come to work every day, and I try and do the same. All right, so how this kind of relates into like my vision of where we're going to go over the next couple of years. And again, I'm being as transparent as possible with the information that I do have. There's a couple more pieces of information that we do need to really exactly define what next year is going to look like on paper, but this is my overall vision. First of all, I want us to be one school community. When I got here and I listened to you all, I definitely could sense the division in departments. And again, I think this school was so large that I see the reason for that, the organization of the organization and structure. But as we're getting smaller, I want us to become one and function as a whole team rather than separate teams. And with this, I want us to be committed. Yeah, I'm in the race, but I'm cheering you on when you're in the race with me. Okay, so we are one functioning school community together. I think, including myself, that we really need to focus on having more of an asset-based thinking mindset. Oftentimes, we will hear people say, and I've even heard myself, you know, we get caught up in that deficit-based thinking, what the kids can't do, what the teachers can't do, what the administration, you know, what we can't do. But I want us to focus on our strengths. What can we do, you know, and teaching to those strengths. So I'm going to challenge all of us to not get caught up in that deficit-based thinking, rather the asset-based thinking. I envision our school, everyone who's here, being all in. That means you're fully committed, you are dedicated to our student success. We challenge each other and we push each other because we're committed to excellence. Okay, we want that, we thrive on that, we want to make each other better. But I really want people on board who are all in. Come to work, do your job, be the best that you can be. That's my hope here at Glen Forest. Of course, a respect for all, just recognizing and affirming each other's strengths, ideas, perspectives, cultures. You know, I've used the visual of that beach ball before, like there's different colored sections. So we are the people coming from those different colored sections. We have a different perspective, different experiences, different views. But at the center where it connects all, that white circle, that's the student body. So that's our main focus all of the time, but we need to understand that we all come from different experiences and respect that, quite frankly. We have a beautifully diverse staff. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to come to a place like Glen Forest. So again, respect for all and affirming one another. All right, one more slide here that I'll talk to, and then I do want to end with a video. It is it's like 8 minutes, but it really resonates with me and the kind of culture and organization that I want us to become. So equity, this is part of what I see for us, that we're committed to each student, whatever he or she needs. You all do a wonderful job with that. And then with that, really courageously examining our biases. So, you know, and I have conversations like admin, we do this naturally with each other. And one of them will offer something that I didn't see. And I really appreciate that. And I'm open to that. And I want someone to challenge me in that way so that I can see it from another perspective. So committing ourselves to equity and culturally responsive instruction is, you know, it's necessary. I want our school, I want to build capacity in you all. I want us to provide opportunities for people to take on leadership roles, to grow, to learn. You know, I appreciate those of you telling me you're in a program and this is your end goal. You know, I want people to have an opportunity to keep growing. Not because you might be headed somewhere else, or you may not have a, you know, you may say, I love being a second grade teacher for my whole life, and that's wonderful. But still there's opportunities to lead, you know, as a classroom teacher. So I want to provide those for you all for sure. I really feel obligated to do that for you. I want us to have a healthy learning environment. Quite honestly, I want you all to feel free to be yourselves. I want you to be not afraid to ask for help, admit when you're wrong. I do it. I'm like, oh, sorry, my fault, right here. But admit your mistakes, ask for help, cheer each other on. And I want you to be yourself. I want you to be exactly yourself and feel comfortable with that. And not afraid to take chances and fail whatsoever. So hopefully you're on board with that. I do want us to come closer together as a community. I want to create opportunities for the cross grade level engagement now that hopefully COVID is in the rearview mirror. I don't know how gone it is, but it's still there. We'll have more opportunities for in-person staff meetings, and it will be an opportunity for us to dialogue with one another. I remember on March 4th, I think it was Sarah Zarnecki came to me and she was like, I just talked to Kiara Letty today, really for the first time. You know, we're separated here with the logistics of the campus and the layout of the campus. But I want us to really get to know one another. Sierra Thumb, just putting you on the spot. I think she said, I'm not sure I've walked upstairs before. You know, and when I hear those things, I feel the urgency to provide those opportunities for you to know who you're working with. We're all here for the same thing, for the kids. So we'll work on that. And I really do want everyone who wants, and she ran back down the stairs. Cute, love it. I want all of you to feel like you belong here, just like we say that with the students. You know, this is your school, you belong here. We're all different, we're all humans, but that's the beauty of it. We're all different and we bring something different to the table. So I hope that as we move on, we'll feel more connected, like a close-knit community. All right, that might be enough of my rambling, but like I said, I want to end with this video by Simon Sinek. Many of you have seen his videos. This one is about an employee named Noah, and it really focuses on and highlights the feelings of safety and trust in an organization. So thank you for giving it your attention. All right, Janine, no volume yet. Okay, while we're waiting for her to work on that, yes, kindergarten orientation yesterday it went so well. We had a great turnout. Our kindergarten teachers.
I went on a business trip to.
Dee, we can't hear you.
Oh, thank you. I just was thanking everyone for yesterday. It was wonderful. The families, it was so good to see them, and I can't wait for next year. Okay, thanks, Janine.
Number 2, trusting teams. I went on a business trip to Las Vegas, and they put me up at the Four Seasons out there. Beautiful hotel. The reason it's a beautiful hotel is not because of the beds. Any hotel can buy a fancy bed. It's because of the people who work there. That when you walk through the hallways, and somebody says hello, you get the distinct feeling that they wanted to say hello, not that they were told to say hello. We can tell the difference. We're highly attuned social animals. We can tell the difference in this kind of behavior. You can always tell when somebody's working on commission, right? You can tell. They happen to have a coffee bar in the lobby. And so one afternoon I went to buy myself a cup of coffee, and the barista working that day is a kid named Noah. Noah was funny and charming and engaging, and I stood there for far too long joking around with Noah just to buy a cup of coffee. So as is my nature, I asked Noah, do you like your job? And without skipping a beat, Noah said, I love my job. Now, to someone in my line of work, that's significant because like is rational. I like the people I work with, I like the challenge, I get paid well, I like my job. Love is emotional, it's a higher order thing. Do you love your wife? I like her a lot. It's different. Noah said, I love my job. So immediately I followed up. Tell me specifically, I asked, what the Four Seasons is doing that you would say to me, you love your job, without skipping a beat. Noah said that throughout the day, managers will walk past me and ask me how I'm doing, ask me if there's anything that I need to do my job better, not just my manager, any manager. And then he said, I also work at Caesar's Palace, and there the managers walk past us and catch us if we're doing anything wrong. There they want to make sure we're doing everything right. They want to make the numbers. I like to keep my head below the radar and just get through the day and collect my paycheck. He said, only at the Four Seasons do I feel I can be myself. That's a trusting team. That's what a circle of safety is. When we come to work and we feel we can be ourselves, we feel that we can make mistakes, we feel like our bosses are there to see us succeed. I get this question all the time, Simon, how do I get the most out of my people? Like they're a towel that you wring. It's a flawed question. The question is, how do I help create an environment in which my people can work at their natural best? And the answers will be entirely different. That's called good leadership. And a leader's responsibility is to create an environment in which people can work to their natural best, in which the people can trust each other, develop these trusting teams. Trusting teams is something very specific. Trusting teams means that someone can come to work and raise their hand and say, I made a mistake. I don't feel like I have adequate training to do the job you've asked me to do. I'm scared. I'm having problems at home and it's affecting my work. I need help. Without any fear of humiliation or retribution. If anything, they say these things with absolute confidence that people will rush in to help them. If we do not have trusting teams, what we do have is a group of people who show up to work every single day lying, hiding, and faking. They would never admit mistakes for fear that it would put them on some short list for redundancies the next time they come up or get in trouble. They're never going to tell you that you've promoted them and they don't know how to do their job for fear that they haven't earned it or they're not good enough or that they're going to lose your trust. They're never going to admit that they're having trouble at home and it's affecting their work for fear that if they were to take a day off, it would affect them. And they're certainly never going to say they need help. Well, guess what happens to an organization where the majority of people aren't admitting mistakes and aren't saying they need help? Eventually things start to break. They start to compound. We saw it happen. You remember the news a couple of years ago? United Airlines dragged a paying passenger off their aircraft with a broken nose, a concussion, and two broken teeth. I feel sorry for every member of that crew because 100% of them knew that that was the wrong thing to do and did not intervene because they feared getting in trouble more than they feared doing the right thing. They stood back and watched. This was not an anomaly. This did not happen overnight. This was not a one-time occurrence. I flew United Airlines years before, and I saw something play out in front of me that was a red flag. I was waiting to board the aircraft, and a scene played out in front of me where one of the passengers attempted to board the plane before their group number was called. High crimes and misdemeanors. And the gate agent yelled at him, "Step aside, sir. I haven't called your group yet. Please step aside and wait till I call your group," is how she talked to a paying customer. I spoke up. I said, "Why do you have to talk to us that way? Why can't you talk to us like we're human beings?" And she looked me in the eye and said, "Sir, if I don't follow the rules, I could get in trouble or lose my job." What she revealed to me is that she does not feel safe in her own organization. Her leaders do not trust her to do the job for which she's been trained to do. And guess who suffers? Customer and company. The reason we like flying Virgin or Southwest Airlines or any of these other airlines is not because they have some magical formula to hire the best people. It's because the people who work there feel safe, they feel like they have agency, they feel like they can make decisions in their own jobs, and they feel like their leaders trust them to do the job for which they've been trained to do. And guess who benefits? Customer and company. That's what creating a circle of safety is. That's what a trusting team is, that people feel like they have control and agency over their own jobs. I spoke at a large energy company. I did a workshop with some senior executives, at a large energy company in the United States, and it was an unbelievably hot room they had us in. So I asked something seemingly very obvious: do you think we could turn up the air conditioning? And we came back after lunch, and it was the afternoon, many hours since my request, and it was still unbelievably hot. And I said, were we able to turn up the air conditioning? And they said, yes, we told the facilities people here, they had to send the request to headquarters in Houston. We're waiting for Houston to get back to us before they can turn down the air conditioning. That's the air conditioning. Imagine how the rest of that organization works. That everyone there is afraid to make a decision. No one has any agency or control. And there's one thing we know about human beings, that our sense of enjoyment from our work does not come from work-life balance and how much yoga we do. Our sense of enjoyment at work and the sense of stress we have is all about our sense of control. That when we feel like we have control over our work, we actually enjoy it more. And control is taken away from us, where we fear making any kind of decision whatsoever. That's what increases stress dramatically amongst human beings. If you want to play in the infinite game, you have to have trusting teams. People who are willing to help each other when things go wrong. People who are willing to admit mistakes. But if we can't keep the organization self-improving, it will break. Number 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it right now. I think I found the single biggest productivity hack of 2021. It's this Google Chrome extension called...
Okay, ignore that last guy. All right, thank you for giving your attention to that video. Yeah, Alex, what's number 1 and number 3 in the circle of trust? Yeah, I can't tell you because I'm just focused right now on safety and trust, but that really resonates with me and the kind of school and organization I want us to have, where we feel comfortable taking risks, we feel empowered to make decisions, and we feel comfortable being ourselves and admitting when we make a mistake. Okay, so that really resonated with me. So I wanted to share that with you. And also too, as we kind of wrap up here, you know, everyone is asking like, what's going to change next year? What's going to be different? And again, I don't have all the information pieces to put that puzzle together and stamp it with ink. I can tell you 3 things that will probably look different next year. Okay, 3 things. The first one, because I want to bring us together as one whole and function as grade level teams, and our staffing numbers are continuing to go down, we will be probably 99% moving away from the label of co-teacher and triad on paper. One reason for that is we probably will not have enough people to do that. So it's really a staffing issue, but then also aligning with the vision of us functioning as one grade level team. So that's one thing I think as we look ahead to next year that we can say probably will not be the same. And it's just that confined structure on a piece of paper that says, this is my co-teacher and I can only work with these 2 other people. And again, it really is about staffing as well. The second thing that's really important to me personally, and I think will relate to my vision and where I see us going and building relationships, is all adults, including administrators, will be part of morning meetings. This is the relationship building, not only with the students, but among each other here. It's such an opportunity for us to get to know one another and appreciate each other and hear from each other and kind of break down those silos. So all adults will be part of morning meeting. And the last thing we really want to do, focus more going into next year on tier 1 instruction to really include small group instruction. So I want us to provide more guidance, more clarity, more clear expectations as to what that should look like, how often, you know, how do I plan that? So we'll you know, head on that journey together. But I see that as kind of an instructional need that we really need to focus on. And we'll be here to support that work and, you know, collaborate with you along the way. So those are kind of the three things, just stepping away from the words co-teacher and triad on a piece of paper. Adults joining morning meetings. And that actually, when I say that too about the morning meetings, someone had a great idea. Arthur, I think it was you. You were like, oh, well, this one class, if I'm kind of having some difficulties, that's the meeting I want to be in. And I'm like, exactly. That's the exact reason, the exact purpose. And then also focusing on tier 1 instruction to really highlight and hone in on that small group instruction. All right, so that's it in a nutshell. That's what I have to share with you that's in my brain at 11:44 on Friday, April 1st. So, you know, I hope some of those things you felt connected with. I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about making Glen Forest even more special than it already is. And, you know, I can have follow-up conversations with any of you, but I wish you the best spring break ever. Some of you, I'm very just disappointed that you have asked when the building is open next week. You might get a memo, okay? No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, the custodial staff will be here during the day. So I would say like 9 to 3, the building could be open for you Monday through Friday. All right, I talked to Meng Hawk, but again, I would rather you not, but I understand if something makes you feel better and more content and more relaxed. Coming back from spring break, I get it. Dee Dee, you said here today is the deadline to enter time off in my time. All right, so get that in. And any final thoughts as we depart today? Liz, I'm so glad you were able to join us. So good to hear your voice and see your face. Any final thoughts as we depart today? Lots of good shows on Netflix. Oh, Danushi, making newcomers feel welcome. All right, I love you all. I really want you to have a good break. I'll be accessible if you need to reach out for any reason, but I hope you do kind of take the time to check out and relax, and then we'll come back and we'll finish our 4th quarter strong and then start to get excited about next year. All right, bye guys.